Done it. Made it to the end. Season 8 of Smallville. The season finale, if you will. 11:22 p.m. too. I had to get it done tonight because I want to do other things this weekend and I'm on vacation this week. So, yeah. Here we are. Welcome back to the Smallville Retrospective. I'm Scotty. You're not. We're talking about Season 8, Episode 22, Doomsday. Title Doomsday aired May 14th, 2009. Director James Marshall. Yeah. So that's why it's actually pretty good for a finale, though there is some frustrating shit in here. Before we get to even all that, I just want to... I think this is one of the first and only times that every single cast member was present in an episode. How they were used is beyond me, but... Or how they were used is a mixed bag, but... So we start... someone flying. Turns out it is Rock. He lands on the roof. Rock, that being Cosmic Boy from the Legion episode. He lands on the roof. He tells Clark that he's come back in time to warn him that the future is fine, but Clark is no longer there. Because saving Chloe changed history. It made... When Clark saved Chloe, he saved her connection with Doomsday. She tried to kill him with kryptonite. She made him unstoppable. She stopped him from sending to the Phantom Zone. That wasn't her. That was Ava Greer. But okay. And she did sort of stop him once, but like, he gives him another ring and says, "Here, send him to the future. We'll take care of him." Clark, in his stupidity, says, "No. I'll do it my way." And I'm like, dude, just send him to the future and you're free. It's my responsibility. Get it? It's your responsibility, sure. But maybe his destiny is dying. Which, in the comics and other versions, yes. He's supposed to die. But not really, as I explained. But Davis... Let me get the credits. And then Davis and Chloe looking at the stars... talks about the story of Persephone and how she was taken away to live with Hades. She chose to stay with him even though after given a choice to leave. Davis believes that it mirrors their situation. So thinks Chloe is staying with him because she's in love with him. Tessa's team finds them, and at the same time the vault which houses the orb exploded. The orb is now missing. She wants to find out who stole it. They say that she says thousands of lives depend on it, and the security team points out that the doors of the vault were blown from the inside out. So, yes. Clark is sitting at his desk, looking at the Legion ring while writing a letter to the citizens of Metropolis and Daily Planet. Lois walks in, clearly pissed off that Clark is not doing anything to find Chloe. Despite the fact this is the first time she's mentioned it, but okay. Clark is writing something, but when she gets close, he doesn't show her. Lois returns to her side of the dash and Clark speeds away. Then her phone goes off, and Clark, as a red blue blur, calls her and in a distorted voice, asking her to publish a letter for him when he goes away. He hints that he's going to die, and Lois mentions that she thought he was invincible. He says, "So did I." Super speeds and put the letter on a computer, like places it there. Don't he tells her to post it tomorrow. She asks him to meet him and asks what he thinks of telephone booths. Clark is currently in the lobby telephone booth, so he says that, you know, she says the corner of some streets that I can't remember. She would meet. Okay, that's the writer that says that. At the Baron, Clark is meeting with Dinah and Bart. It's Bart for the first time after being mentioned several times. They're looking at some schematics for a geothermal nuclear corp vicinity. He gives Bart the black kryptonite and says he will split Davis into Doomsday. Split Doomsday into Davis and regular Doomsday. I thought they mistyped it again. Clark will then push him into a deep, deep hole in the ground which almost goes to the Earth's core. I want to point out that despite the fact that we never see Doomsday again, and I will say that, this plan is stupid as fuck. Who's to say he could stay down there? We never see him again, so it works, but I don't get it. And the whole point is he's supposed to destroy Doomsday, which is supposed to release whatever's inside the orb. But whatever's inside the orb gets released anyway, and he doesn't destroy Doomsday. So I don't understand how this is supposed to work. Oliver comes in and tells him and Clark's not happy to see him. Clark says Oliver murdered Lex Luthor, so he's not a hero anymore. They argue again what happens if the plan doesn't work, how more lives need to be lost. But this guy just doesn't want to write. Then Daily Planet, we see Yimi break into Tessa's office. He's talking to Oliver about some decoding program he has on a flash drive. He pulls the new chair and he kicks Lois, who's sitting underneath the table. Yimi plugs in the flash drive into the computer and decrypts all the files. It shows the location of Davis and Chloe. Sure, she knows where they are. I know her team found them, but he relays the message to Oliver, and Yimi leaves and tells Lois to let him know the dot on the screen moves. Lois opens another file where Tess is interrogating one of Lex's workers, Regan. You know, the guy who previously was established that she beat the shit out to death. Well, now, he's just, I guess he's still dead, but he's been, clearly this is after he got kicked in the face, he's got blood all over him. But she's able to interrogate him after that. I don't know where it's supposed to take place. They're talking about the orb. He says the orb has the power to end the world. Black Canary. That's what it says. Black Canary. Black Canary. Calls Clark. Tell him they have found Davis and Chloe. He's there, but it's just a smashed car. It's a trap! And, Oliver shoots Clark with a kryptonite arrow. Black Canary says they cannot risk losing him. That's what it says. Clark begs not to do it, but he falls down and bruises his fish. Back at the DP, Tess confronts Lois. Tess asks her what she did with the orb. Lois claims she has no idea what she's talking about. They fight. They told her it exploded from the inside and she thinks it was Lois. Man, you're fucking stupid. I forgot to turn off Energy Saver. There we go. They fight. They're in high heels. This dude's putting his own commentary in here. This is what he says. They fight. A pretty good one, considering that both of them are wearing some pretty high heels. How the heroes don't break from doing all those jump kicks and kung fu moves, I have no idea. That's what whoever typed this said. Lois throws Tess off of her desk, and she slides into the fine cabinet. She's knocked out from the struggle. Lois finds the Legion ring. Somehow he left it in the desk, I guess. She touches it, looks confused, and then vanishes. Future past wherever she goes. And that's the end of Lois for this season. That's it. She's just gone. Chloe wakes up at the geothermal nuclear corp facility, seeing Green Arrow, Black Canary, and Impulse looking over unconscious Davis. Bart tells her that he knocked him out off screen with a super sweep punching at him. She realizes that they are there to kill him. Davis wakes up and says that it's the only way. He's like, they have to. It's the only way. Because now, because of writing, now her being there is no longer enough to keep him from breaking out. She uses the black kryptonite. She sees the black kryptonite. Davis starts to change and throws Black Canary aside. That's what it says. Cannery. Cannery. Green Arrow prepares to shoot him, but Chloe jumps in front and stabs Davis with the black kryptonite. Not stabs, just goes like this. Touches it to him. It splits Davis into human and Doomsday. I want to point out that this shouldn't work. He's immune to kryptonite. If he's immune to green kryptonite, that means all kryptonite should have no effect on him. But these writers are fucking stupid, so whatever they say goes, I guess. I also want to point out that when Bart takes it out earlier, he shows the Clark goes like this. What do you think is going to happen to him? You're going to split him in two? He splits in the human and Doomsday. The human Davis passes out and Doomsday throws Green Arrow and Impulse around and leaves the facility. Gimme shows up where Clark is laying on the ground with the kryptonite arrow. He takes the arrow out and he starts to put things together. He sees the heel and he's like, wait, you got super, like you're some sort of super guy. Because you can't say Superman. He's like, I'm Red Blue Blur. He's like, gee, I knew it. And he commends him on figuring out who he was and that Davis was bad. Put everything together. He tells Jimmy that he needs to take Chloe and Davis to. So what he says is, you saw that wedding present that you weren't able to give, too afraid to give to Chloe. But yeah, you need to take Chloe and Davis and get him out of here. He's like, Davis, just trust me. He's away. And he super speeds, and Jimmy's like, that is so cool. Kadak arrives at the facility, found everyone going to sleep. It's no time for a nap. He goes to Chloe and she tells him that she split Doomsday in two. Real Doomsday is on the loose now. He looks at Oliver and asks if he can trust him to do the right thing. They need to blow up the tunnel, and he gets Doomsday down there now. He's like, you can't trust me. Now you want to do it. Because you've been proven wrong, Oliver. In Metropolis, Doomsday is destroying everything. People are running into panic. Those woman through a glass window of a shop and grabs her daughter. Oh no. Clark arrives to save the daughter and stash her away in some garbage bags. Okay. He turns around and notices the telephone booth that he was supposed to meet Lois at. Doomsday grabs him and proceeds to beat the crap out of him. Clark is bleeding and things are not looking so good. Clark braces himself, super jumps, tackles Doomsday into the sky. He jumps aside where they land exactly in a geothermal lose the goat facility. And there's a huge explosion. How did he survive? Well, the writers don't know either. We'll get there. Gimme has taken Chloe Davis to his wedding present. It's a building that's going to be the Watchtower next season. No. He said it says here. Davis is still unconscious from the split. It says it is a building in Metropolis called the Watchtower. No, Chloe calls it that later. That's not what it's called now. It's just a tall enough building. He'd saved enough money to buy it for her and thought that they would start life together. But they can be seen from any point in Metropolis. Now, if she ever missed him, she could look up and see the Watchtower and know he was also thinking about her. She's touched, and he's always doing the right thing. Jimmy tells her she knows about Clark's superpowers. Yeah, that's funny. She's like, there's so much I want to tell you. He's like, oh, I know about Clark. What? Like, what about Clark? Like, the thing about Clark. I know he has superpower. I know he's a Red Blue Blur. I know everything. She admits that the only reason she was with Davis is because she wanted to protect Clark. She never stopped loving him, Yimi. They kiss and Chloe apologized again, but she left, but she never left him. They kiss again, and then you hear a squelching sound. Gimme has been stabbed through the back with a pipe by Davis. Davis starts yelling that this whole time you were protecting Clark. You never loved me. Sorry, this should not be happening. I'll get to it. This is my big problem with this storyline. He goes to stab Chloe, but Yimi tackles him from behind, and he impales Davis with this. That's pipes. It looks like a spike, but okay. And then Jimmy falls down and Chloe goes over to him. And this is where it hits me that he's dying. I knew he was going to die, but this is where it hit me, and I just started crying. He tells Chloe that he will always love her. I will always love you. Come on, Keach. Oh, to my bodyguard. And then he dies. Alright, before we get to the next scene, part 2 of the rant. So, as you see from my issues, the writers exercised did everything in their power to make sure that there was no other choice for Clark than to do what his plan is. Though, there was still one plan, but he just said no to it. Kill Doomsday and Davis? Nope. Can't do that. Clark needs to save human beings. Okay, that's gone. Split them, or just send Doomsday through into the Phantom Zone. Nope. Can't do that. Crystal's destroyed now. Have to embrace your destiny. Hey, send him to the future. We'll deal with him. No. No reason. Just no. I have to do this myself. I have to die. And there. Oh, kryptonite. That's right. No. He's immune to kryptonite, so we can't do this stuff from the comics. The cliffhanger could be that they think that Clark is dead, or the red blue blur is dead, whatever. But he's, then they just show the fortress and he's in there. Like, oh, they're doing the thing of Superman. Yeah, okay. But no. No. They had to specifically do this, where they split them in half, and Clark gets rid of the Doomsday part, but not Davis, because he has to preserve the human side. And I know what the message is. It's that human emotion can get the best of you, cause you to do things that no one can see coming. So him killing Jimmy out of his emotion because he was in love with Chloe, that happened. However, it shouldn't have. And let me tell you why. So, Brainiac was trying to bring him and Chloe together. He was manipulating Davis. Okay. But also manipulating Davis was the evil part of Doomsday. The Doomsday part of him, the evil part, was manipulating him. So, once the evil part of him was taken out, his feelings for Chloe and all the bad in him should have went bye-bye. He should be a good person now. And all of them was like, oh, it was just Doomsday drawing me towards you. Because that's what Brainiac wanted. That's all it was. I never had feelings for you. It was never there. It was all Doomsday. That's what it should have been. But that's not what the writers wanted. The writers wanted this story. So instead, Yimi has to die. Because this is what the writers wanted. But the writers, the people behind the show, the showrunners, whatever, knew that people would be pissed because you killed off such a legendary character like Yimi before Superman is even a thing. So they put in one last retcon. At Yimi's funeral, everyone but Clark, he's there. He's just way in the back, like with whose funeral was it? Was it Chloe's funeral or something? Or someone's funeral? Lex's funeral, wasn't it? In season 3. Chloe leaves some photo negatives of her and Jimmy on his casket. And it's revealed his real name. He's not the real Jimmy. He is Henry James Olsen. James is his middle name. Jimmy's little brother, who has previously unestablished because he said that his father was an alcoholic and he hasn't seen his mom in years. Pretty safe to say he didn't have any family connections. Now, he's got a little brother so that we can try to placate the fans a little bit. Chloe gives the little kid Jimmy's camera and says he would want you to have this, and maybe, hey, when you're older, you can follow in his footsteps. And yes, I can tell you this, he will become the actual Jimmy Olsen from the comics. Can't tell you how, can't tell you when, but it will happen. Here, this guy says, it's entirely possible Jimmy we have come to love is not actually the Jimmy Olsen that we know about the comic books. It's his first name is Henry. It's possible the younger brother's name is actually Jimmy. You remember he had a falling out with his family. Finally, we see Clark in the background. Oliver's looking at him and he walks away. Clark goes to Watchtower where he meets Chloe. He's looking at a huge bloodstain on the ground where Yimi died. She's happy to see him and he's wondering what happened to him. He says, yeah, she's like, what happened? How do you survive the explosion? He goes, Dinah hit the button and I don't know. He just got out. Lazy writing. They didn't even want to. They were too lazy to even write an excuse to how he escaped. He says that he looked everywhere and he can't find Lois. She's just gone. He tells Chloe to leave this place and go back. She's like, no. This is Jimmy. This is where Jimmy is. And he bought it for her and she's going to use it as the new Watchtower. The League is disbanded. The Watchtower could be the new home. Central meeting place to overlook the city. Look over the city. Clark then apologized and said he put humanity on a pedestal. But it was a human that killed Yimi. He goes on to say that humanity side of him is the weakness. It's stopping him from becoming the hero that everyone needs him to be. He can't be emotionally attached and allow emotions to affect his decisions. He thinks Oliver was right all along. No, he wasn't. He tells her that Clark Kent is dead. Walks out, leaving Chloe alone. The scene fades to black. Back at the Luther mansion, Tex boss in her office noticed the same purple glow coming from her office. This guy must be colorblind. Because I'm watching this again to see if it... I don't know how he can say this is blue. He's got to be colorblind. It's purple. She runs in, goes outside the window, or, now going even more, some guy appears in the middle of the lawn, a tornado symbol of fire burn into the grass. It looks like the letter Z, where we hear something say, Zod. Yes, Zod. And I will tell you this interesting thing of note, that this is actually Sam Witwer standing there filling in for Zod. Because you remember, Vayora said that he is the spitting image of him. And while Witwer doesn't come back to play Zod next season, they got a guy that looks similar. Right? So, yeah. So it's Zod. I'll give this a 4. It's a solid episode. I just have issues with it. So it's clear that Aaron Ashmore probably didn't want to come back. And so they had to kill him off. But they knew fans were going to be pissed that they're killing off Jimmy. So they went, well, actually, it's not the real Jimmy. It's his older brother, Henry. So, actually, Hank here died. Not the real Yimmy. And the real Yimmy is this little boy who's going to grow up and become the real Yimmy. I always find that confusing. But, yeah. There you have it. I finished season 8 of Smallville. I did it. I'm a little late, but I still did it. Alright, and now I get to enjoy my vacation. And whatever I do next, I don't know. But what are your thoughts on this episode and the season as a whole? I think the season is solid, except for when you get to that slump towards the end and it's just a bunch of filler and you just want to get to the end of it, and it's... I do feel like the battle with Doomsday was anticlimactic. There's a little bit of fighting, and then he just tackles him. It goes conveniently into the thing, and then it's over. I know a lot of final battles are like that, but I mean, when we get to this series finale, we're gonna have a big issue because it's a 2-hour finale, and the battle is still rushed. We'll get to that, but that's then. But yeah, So the questions we have is what's going on with Zod? What does it have to do with saving thousands of people? Where's Lois? What's going on there? What's going to happen to Clark now that Clark Kent is dead? Well, he'll be the Blur. I already said that before, but yeah. So what you thought? So much like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.